Hello students and welcome back. I am Professor Caster and thank you for returning for one of our short courses that breaks down the larger courses into more bite-sized chunks so they're a little bit more accessible instead of trying to go through the war of an entire section. Also, I do apologize if the quality of the sound is a little off from how the intro and outro sound. Those were actually recorded before this setup actually got created, so it should be a little bit quieter, but other than that, it should be alright.
Moving on to Forward Commander Sorscha. Sorscha Kradikov learned to live with loss at a young age. When her father died, she resolved to feel nothing and hid her pain. When she witnessed Winter Guard comrades killed and maimed, she placed all her grief behind her icy exterior. Slowly she grew numb to the suffering around her, feeling little even when her own troops died, or when innocents stumbled into the path of war. Throughout her career, Sorscha moved among officers descended from nobility. Given her peasant upbringing, she chafed at their arrogance and entitlement and drove her feelings of resentment even deeper. Only Vladimir Tversky, a great prince, gave her honest and open words of a man without pretense. To her surprise, she found in him the only man to open her heart since the death of her father. Vladimir's enemies among the Kyazi were quick to take advantage of such vulnerabilities, spreading rumors of improper conduct and even whispers of sedition. The occupation of Lail brought great suffering and loss, and not just to the people of the war-torn nation. Amid the worst fighting, Vladimir Tversky vanished, an apparent victim of Christian violence. Duty alone kept Sorscha from riding out to find him. Soon the Kyazi began questioning her competence, his habits, and even his loyalty to the motherland, as if his past accomplishments meant nothing. Sorscha yearned to hunt down these cowards who were spreading these lies. Promoted to Forward Commander, she was assigned a cadre of hand-picked Winter Guard and ordered to shed southern blood. Sorscha and her battalion tore into those who opposed the Khadoran Empire. Compelled by duty as much as her need to unleash her violence in her heart, her fury was like that of a goddess of frost and death. When Vladimir returned, he came to her before any other. The hope she had thought was crushed by his death returned in the time they spent together. But this reunion was brief. Commandant Urus called Sorscha back to the duty in eastern Lail. By the time she returned on leave, Vladimir had been summoned to war. Soon after, Sorscha was recalled to Ravensguard. She quickly concluded that the High Command wished to separate them. As the months of constant battle passed, Sorscha's thoughts darkened, causing her to channel her frustration into combat, where she fought like a woman possessed. A number of developments in the last few years have made it difficult for Sorscha to maintain a sharp divide between her military and personal life. During the Second Thornwood War, she thought herself free of the man who had murdered her father, as she had witnessed a grievously wounded Butcher of Khador fall beneath the onslaught of sword knights and did not intervene. Some months later, he emerged from the woods alive, to the surprise of all. Sorscha and Supreme Commandant Urus exchanged words that suggested he knew what she had done, but he did not punish her. He saw that Orsev's Zakafir's survival was punishment enough. Recently, she also learned that, for political reasons, her true love became betrothed to someone else, a rival beyond all others, the Khadoran Empress herself. While she knew her relationship with Vladimir Tversky was ill-fated from the start, this developed was almost more than she could bear. Sorscha's patriotism still drives her, but it is increasingly eclipsed by the darkness growing in her heart. She does not care why the motherland asked her to fight, only where she can find a few moments of peace and the clarity of action. I've also worked with this particular version of Sorscha. I always wonder why, even though she was cold the first time I met her, she was even colder at this time. In fact, she was so cold that if you just walk up next to her, you had a chance of actually freezing to the spot just by being near her. Now, I don't know anybody that cold, but my goodness, that is cold. Also, she had the unique ability that if things were in her range of influence, she could actually increase the output of damage even beyond that of a normal sword or hammer. Like it was like they were being hit with some magical weapon, even though it was just a regular old sword. It could chop in half an enemy warjack in a slice. It was amazing. Not even sure how she did it. I'm glad I wasn't on the receiving end.
Alrighty students, well that does it for this short course. And as always, thank you Privateer Press for letting us read your fantastic lore. And as always, your homework is going to be, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know how I'm doing, and share it with your friends and fellow gamers alike so we can increase the class size. And as always, class dismissed.